In this video, I'm going to teach you how to break bad habits using tactics taught in Atomic Habits by James Clear. On the copy of the book I have, it's on page 213. I'm basically going to be going over this table that he's talking about. It's just at the end of the chapter summary of chapter 17. So I'm just going to name these 4 laws that he describes on how to break a bad habit, and I'll just teach you what they mean. So the first one we have with breaking bad habits. For this one, I'm going to use the example of quitting porn, because that's a very bad habit that everyone needs to break. So reduce exposure, remove the cues of your bad habits from your environment. An example of this is pretty much like just cutting the roots off of where the thing comes from that makes you want to like go and look at it. So an example could be you're scrolling through Instagram and then you get like this ad or like the post from like a gym girl or something, and there's just like a big like ass on your screen, and then that stimulates your brain dopamine, and then you go and start craving it, which then leads you to go and watch porn, and then you end up losing like 2 hours of your day and you just feel like absolute shit. Used to happen to me all the time, and I've finally broken that thing, and now I'm going to teach you how to get rid of it. It's a great... So what you do is you just cut the roots. So if the stimulant thing of what's getting you to get your dopamine stuff and going crazy, like the example of seeing a post from like a hot gym girl and then you go and start watching porn, delete the social media. So remove the cues of your bad habits, pretty much unfollow the girls, delete social media, just remove all that. That is like making it invisible, sort of, so you just can't get stimulated and led onto it. The second law is to make it unattractive. So reframe your mindset and highlight the benefits of avoiding your bad habits. So going back with the same example of porn, to make it unattractive, this is going to be this is like a dark like example, but it's 100% true and it's happening to everyone. Let's say you watch porn today, you're addicted to it, you watch it the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day. Then your mental health just goes on like a serious downcline because of how shit that thing makes you feel, how terrible porn is. And it just gets you to feel so bad. Just because, you know, this one day you're like, oh, I'll watch it. If you stay on that bad habit, it just destroys your life and keeps destroying it until eventually you just can't take it anymore. And then your life is gone. Now, I know that's extreme, but that is exactly what happens to many people who get caught in these bad habits. Another example could be like trying to break the bad habit of eating junk food. You know, the more you eat it, the more unhealthy you get. It starts showing. You put on excess fat. You start to become less mobile. It's harder for you to walk upstairs. Then soon you're in crutches, you're on wheelchairs. You need people to actually move you around, like you get to that point. If you search up on the internet like world's fattest human, and then you just see that, and then you try like look at junk food, that is what got them to that stage. That is not good. So with making the habits unattractive, I found that to be the best method. Just visualize like the worst case scenario, like absolute worst case scenario of if you chose to indulge in this habit. Whatever it may be, seriously visualize the worst case scenario, like the worst thing that could possibly happen if you choose to indulge in that habit, like getting hooked on it, and then you just absolutely end your life. And while doing that, try to see the benefits of not doing that task. So with the example of not eating junk food, let's say you eat the healthy food, you feel good, you start to look better, and then you're more attractive, and then all the women start coming to you, you know. That's an example of how to see the benefits of it. And the same thing with that porn example. The benefits of not watching porn, obviously you start having better mental health, you feel better, your life just looks a lot amazing, and then all of a sudden some reason just everything starts to be working and life is just a lot better. So that's the second law. The third law is to make it difficult. This one, I haven't really found it to be as effective as making it unattractive and making it invisible. But make it difficult. Increase friction, increase the number of steps between you and your bad habits. Use a commitment device, restrict your future choices to the ones that benefit you. So, going on that first point, increasing friction and increase the number of steps, this is like, could be like setting screen time limits. On the iPhone, you can like, what's it called? You can like, there's like this thing that you can do on the settings app where you like type the website in and then it like denies access. It's like parental controls or something. But content restrictions, that's what I'm looking for. You could put content restrictions, you could put like blockers on websites and all that kind of stuff. Basically increasing the amount of steps that you have to take to get to the bad habit that you want to indulge in. So this could be like, you know, taking all the junk food out of your house and not buying it. It's not as effective. It is a great temporary fix. I've noticed something like that could work for like a few weeks until you start to indulge in it again. So that stuff is like really good to get the ball rolling, I've realized. But once you start to indulge in it again and you like sort of break the ice of just going and turning off the fucking content restrictions, sorry for the bad language, basically like that, once you do that, then it just falls off. So I haven't seen making it difficult to be more effective. It's not that great. So really just focus on trying to make it more unattractive. Unless like that stuff works really well for you, then you should definitely try it. But for me personally, I just haven't found it to work that well. But for you, it might be different. It might be the lifesaver to just put a content restriction on it, and take the junk food out of your house or something like that. The fourth law is to make it unsatisfying. Now this one also has 2 points. The first one is get an accountability partner and ask someone to watch your behavior. This could be really good. If you're like with your friend and you're like, okay, you and I, we're gonna stop doing this together. You guys just like messaging each other today, hey bro, have you indulged in the bad habit? And then you're just gonna feel like that shame on the inside of saying like, yeah, I messed up. The accountability partners are good because it sort of like keeps you accountable. Like that stuff is great. Habit trackers are another good method of accountability, but accountability partners they're even better. The accountability partner is great. You should find someone who's like-minded, or every time you mess up, you can leave a comment in this video saying I screwed up. That's a good accountability method, which is also the second point in this make it unsatisfying section. Create a habit contract, make the cost of your bad habits public and painful. So basically when you indulge in the bad habit, just like make it public, tell people that you screwed up, basically embarrass yourself. Like that's a great way to do it. Just straight up tell someone. Like it takes guts to do this, but it's really good. And then make it painful. So when you indulge in the bad habit, making it painful is kind of like, instead of just moving on and just trying to forget about it as quickly as possible, there's not really anything wrong with just sitting there with the pain and just existing with the thought in your mind that you messed up, not thinking of a way that's sort of like, oh, well, I messed up already, so I might as well go and fully indulge in it. No, just like living with the pain and just really like soaking it in as to like what a failure you have been what bad choice you've just made. And when you like remember that pain and you really sit there with it, it sort of sticks with you. And then the next time you get the urge to indulge in whatever it is, then you can just think back to the pain that you felt. And it's powerful, like it really feels bad. And you just remember that. And then on top of making it unsatisfying, you're just knowing how bad it feels. You know, if you're gonna fuck up, that you're gonna have to make it public, or you know that if you indulge in it, it'll cause you to want to indulge in it again and again and again. And the more you do it, the worse your mental health state gets, which then leads you to wanting to just escape life completely. Just in summary, make it invincible. And sorry, make it invisible. You don't want to make the bad habit invincible. That's no. Make it invisible. So basically cut it from the roots, delete the social medias if it's stimulating you, or remove the junk food out of your house, to give an example. Make it unattractive. Think about the worst case scenario that could possibly happen if you choose to indulge in it. Make it difficult. Pretty much just like, you know, making it difficult is very similar to making it visible, but just increasing the amount of steps that you have to take to get to the bad habit that you want to indulge in makes it harder. Sort of like, oh, well, if I want to do this, I have to go and do all that. It's not worth it, not worth my time. That's very powerful. It's very useful. Make it unsatisfying. Just live with the pain, get an accountability partner, write out a habit tracker. I have a video on how to write down habit tracker. That's one that you should check out if you don't have a habit tracker already. Anyway, that's this video on how to stop bad habits. Follow these rules. If you want to read Atomic Habits, basically in this book, James Clear talks about how to break bad habits and how to make good habits with like the, you know, tiny changes, remarkable results. It's a great book. You should definitely read it. I'll link it down. I'll put like an Amazon link in the description so you can go and find the book and go and buy it. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found this one helpful. Definitely try these principles. Like, don't just watch it and go and do the next one. So I'll leave you with an actionable step for this video, just before we close it up. If there's any specific bad habit that you're thinking of, right after you finish watching this video, think of just one way that you can make it like a harder to get to that habit. Think of one way that you can increase the number of steps to get to that habit. So if your habit's porn, install a porn blocker and restrict content restrictions, like restrict the website. So there's two things you have to go through to get there. On top of that, after you finish watching the video, just like turn your phone or turn your computer off and just like sit there and like really think, what is the worst thing that can happen if you choose to indulge in that habit? Doing that is very powerful, and just keep that in mind every single time that you get the urge. And even like if you've already failed and you're already on the urge, just think, what is the worst case scenario that could happen if you're continuing to doing what you're doing, and then you just like drop it and you turn it off and you go like, ah. Like be afraid of the bad habits. That's another point method which I use myself. I actually like fear going on those websites, because if you think of the worst case scenario like to be that bad, you'll actually start to like fear the website and you just want to stay away from it. And that's a very powerful method that also just keeps you away. So actionable step, think of the worst case scenario and think of one way that you can distance yourself from that habit and cut out from whatever source. If it's social media that's getting you on it, if there's junk food in your house, throw it out, delete it, do whatever you need to do to just make that bad habit harder for you to get to and make it more unattractive. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.